Did you know Bond students have been in every Olympics since '92? How do they do it? Bond is known for its prowess in the sporting domain. With incredible facilities throughout campus, it means you can easily transition from this to this. Sport is alive and well at Bond University.
And you try to play the game, and it's like keeping an eye on the water. No, that's where I go walking. When I'm going to go walking, and you've got your feet. Egrets. 150. Okay, I'll go into match mode. All the best, bro. I better cancel and start. So you will. Oh, sorry, you better jump right up. Or you can do it. So you're doing the first quarter. Things up? Not yet. Let's say 50 seconds. It wasn't too layers of dust to look through. You can do that, yeah, because it's a bit. I mean, like, you'll be dancing around, I'm going to be dancing around. I'm going to apologise in advance if we both dance together and collide. Because I'm trying to watch the ball around the park as well. Part of me. Later on the dance. Well, we're talking about just manslaughter on that. We're talking about it. No, you're talking about. one of the great venues, side of 8 grand finals in this Bond University QAFLW. And today we are in round 7, the final round of the first round robin of the 2024 competition. The Yeronga South Brisbane Devils taking on the Southport Sharks. My name is Daniel Viles. Thank you very much for your company. Yeronga winless this year. It's been a while between drinks, but there have been some encouraging signs, most notably kicking a couple of late goals in their loss to UQ just before the bye round. Southport had a couple of wobbles early. Both of these teams have had to endure very difficult sections of the draw where they've played Aspley and Southport in consecutive weeks. In fact, Yeronga, their next 2 games are against Aspley and Southport, so they play the big 3 bang, bang, bang. And hopefully, from their perspective, they will be so well drilled by the time they meet their opponent after that, that maybe that's when a drought can be broken for them, with no disrespect intended to whoever that opponent is. Southport, 3 wins on the trot, and their win over Coorparoo 2 weeks ago, 79 points to 20, was impressive to say the least. Both sides have made 4 changes. Bellinger, Goodwin, McDonald and Wheeler come in for the Devils. And it's the elite juniors who come in for the Southport Sharks. Dakota Barron, Georgia Davis, Nikisha Drew Perkis on debut, former Tweed Coolangatta Junior, and Alana Welsh. Avalon Pierce in the ruck for Southport, number 6. Number 30, Pepper Pulteney, who's been dominating hit-outs in most encounters this year. In the ruck for Yeronga. We're underway in round 7 at Lation Park, Yeronga. We're straight onto the ball. Chelsea Wynn named on the bench. No one believed it for a second. Lizzie Hill crashing through the middle. Getting it up forward, looking for Faraday Hopkins. Playing a long way forward. Shayla Lloyd cleans up at the back. Goes out towards Rihanna Shipp, the captain, having an excellent year. Yeronga got the first inside 50, but it will be cleared by Fogus. Plenty of pressure on it, but Avalon Pierce did well in the pack. Goes for distance. Just unable to be held onto by Lloyd. Did well, seemed almost surprised. Back through Welsh with the fluorescent ribbon. Maddie Watt in the middle. Crossfield off the fingers of Plooples and then taken by Brown. Brown goes left to Plooples, made a stretch. Plooples looking for a target, held it up and found Kimber. Kimber looking beautiful step. Kimber looking towards the left forward pocket. Found the target in Gregory, but she was under good pressure from Carmody.
Good job.
But very skillful connections from Southport to get it from right back pocket to left forward pocket. Southport attacking the river end. The river's probably about 100 metres beyond the far boundary. Steph O'Brien took on the tackles. Got it forward into the goal square. Featherstone hovers. Gregory, narrow angle, touched on the way through, not touched. Taylor Gregory opens the scoring. 2nd minute, and Southport are away. Taylor Gregory, one of quite a few players on this ground today who've been named in the Queensland squad for the upcoming match against Tasmania. That's Saturday the 22nd of June, 4 matches that day at Bond University. We begin at 11 a.m. with Queensland versus Tasmania in the women's, followed by the men's, and then it turns to the intrastate clash between South Queensland and North Queensland. Tickets are being sold. I think it's about $6 for adults. It's an absolute bargain. And that's just for the interstate games. If you turn up for the South Queensland, North Queensland games, that's all free. Overrun by Lloyd. Watt went to the outside. Maddie Goodwin. Apologies, that was Lunson. Southport struggling to get out of that zone. They've lost and regained possession about 3 or 4 times, but it's Fogus who goes towards Featherstone. Picked up by Barron. Barron plays in field. Ended up going to, as you heard the call from downstairs, Bomber Matthews, who then brings the play to a halt by tackling Georgia Davis, who looks to be starting forward, but may well alternate through the ruck with Avalon Pierce and maybe Taylor Gregory as well. Chelsea Wynn couldn't get onto it. Fogus got it forward to Davis. Over the head of O'Brien, stretched well. O'Brien and Goodwin. Good hustle from Goodwin. Maybe unlucky not to be paid a free kick. Taken out by Faraday Hopkins. And there will be a ball up pretty much on the 50. Hopkins, known as a midfielder at this level, but I saw her play for the Lions Academy a couple of weeks ago and she was most adept at fullback. Cleared by Hopkins. She goes up the left-hand side. Taken by Priest at the back. Some good pressure from Amelia Lee. Another gun youngster. Who knows what she could become. Kicked forward. Yeronga going deep inside 50. Southport doing enough. Welsh possibly brought down by McDonald without the ball, but allowed to play on as the coaches give very well-meaning advice. It is called a holding free kick, but it's gone to Southport to Alana Welsh. As Bellinger asks a few questions. Welsh steps inside, got herself in trouble. McDonald, great hustle, coughs it up for Bellinger. And it will be a ball up, but Courtney McDonald's caused the turnover, just put a little bit of indecision into Welsh's mind. And Welsh has got a long kick, so McDonald saved her team a few metres there. Well run into by Hill, looking for space, goes backwards. Handballing in field to Bellinger, cleverly got rid of it. And they go back to the 50. Hopkins inside, needs a target up front. Abby Plooples under very little pressure, just didn't quite hit the target, but they'll be very pleased with his forward 50 entries early. Yeronga went through the hands of Pulteney. Lunson applying pressure. Ship goes back inside 50. Pearce got it out in front of Lloyd, who was brave in the circumstances and has made sure that the Sharks can keep possession. There's not really anyone up forward for the Sharks. Dakota Barron may have just been in the left of your screen. They've coughed it up. Chelsea Wynn getting through traffic, and Shayla Lloyd has been awarded the free kick. Just wanted to confirm that before I open the mouth. It's the first time for everything. Lloyd inside to O'Brien. O'Brien deep inside 50. Probably looking for the likes of Barron. Just went into space. Goodwin. Again, made her name as a midfielder, but played for fullback for Queensland last year. Maybe she'll be there again. Kimber, the former Gold Coast Sun, up to O'Brien. Centrally, was looking for what? Missed the target. Tiani Brown going through. Over the top towards Featherstone. Turned over. Pulteney needs support. Has it from Hill. Goes check side towards the boundary. They've cleared the danger, Yeronga. Just the one goal. Ship being hunted down by Rosenthal. One of the quickest players in the competition, Steph Rosenthal, but they've maintained possession of the Sharks through Welsh. Welsh goes deep, looking for the target of Gregory. One hand on, not enough. Megan Hunt. Megan Hunt swings around. Misses to the right. Been back in her preferred position of midfield the last couple of weeks, but beginning forward. And she's approaching a 100 goal milestone in this competition on 96. And the more often she gets forward, the more you think it could happen. Mallion out of the left pocket. Turned over to Davis. And then Wynn, significantly shorter than Davis, but same result. Looking for Hopkins. Hannah Davies affected the contest and it coughed it up to O'Brien. O'Brien inside to Kimber. Handballs into space. Lloyd. Lloyd looking for a target. Went too wide to find anything on the full. Gregory got there first. Mallion playing close attention. Worked by Wynn on the outside, flirting with the boundary line. And did that just come off a toe and then out on the full? It has, and it's to Yeronga's benefit. Apologies, the umpire, I'm going to blame the umpire. I haven't named them yet, so they won't mind. But Georgia Davis has a fortunate free kick. Saw Darcy Davis score 5 goals here a couple of years ago on her first grade debut. Georgia doesn't go for a kick that long, but Gregory, for some reason, went for it one-handed. There's been a whistle, but called play on. The free kick would have gone to Yeronga. And O'Brien loses it in the tackle. Don't think she realised that Hopkins was behind her. She's worked hard over the off-season, Faraday Hopkins, and she's much improved. I mean, she was good last year, but she's a much improved player this year. McDonald playing very deep. Just having a little bit of trouble clearing their own 50 zone. Brilliant tackle from Georgia Hewitt.
Well done.
One of the fastest players, well, certainly in the club and probably across the competition. And I know I just said that about Rosenthal, and I was right twice. But she's been moved into defence this year. And her speed back there has been well employed. Pearce over the top of Pulteney. Volleyball on the 50. Back to Hannah Davies. Looks wide, found the run of Watt. Watt's not afraid to go back to go forward. Oh, just a finger in the eye accidentally to Selena Priest, I think. There were just hands going for the ball, and she definitely copped a stray digit. But Maddie Watt has the free kick just behind the centre circle. She'll go wide looking for her captain in Ship, who did well against Rosenthal in a one-on-one. It wasn't exactly land of the Giants.
Always one day.
Gregory, it's the third or fourth time she's gone for a one-handed mark today. I just wonder whether she's got an injury on her left hand or whether maybe her left hand's been taken out of play. Up towards the goal square, and Camilla Burnett, veteran of 100 games for Yeronga plus. That was last year she brought out that milestone. Very calm under the circumstances.
Beautiful. Who's next?
Came out wide. This is a lovely run. Goodwin, just her hands failing her at the vital moment, but uses that explosive pace, but then kicked it away to Watt. She was looking for Pulteney. And Watt, about where she made the 2022 tackle of the year. And I break the microphone. Rosenthal. Brought down. Oh, the only thing wrong with that would be if it's over the shoulder. Welsh did everything right except get the right arm in a legal place. Rosenthal, flattish kick, not where she wanted it. May work out. Beats McDonald. Cleaned up at the back by Brown. Little bit strong. In fact, that wasn't Brown, that was Baltays. Sorry about that. Sanchesiv onto the field. Competing hard. Baltays doing well on the ground. Did she drag it back in? That's how it's been ruled. McDonald clutching her shoulder. She gets up. Hopefully she'll be all right. But Joe Baltays has the free kick just ahead of left halfback. Calls of Joe. I think it's how a poem in one of the Police Academy movies began. But it's with Steph O'Brien. She goes up to centre half forward, looking for Barron. Couldn't bring it down, but it's going to happen. Back towards Fogus. The handball just went ahead of Drew Perkis. Back to O'Brien. O'Brien from a fair way out. Got a good purchase on it. Gregory in the goal square. Thought about playing on and then thought, well, Georgia Carmody's pretty close. Why not just make sure of it? Gregory got the first goal today. And the second. Played mostly reserve grade in their first year in Queensland in 2022. Having previously played for Cardiff in the AFL Hunter competition. Mostly first grade last year. This is all the build-up to saying she's averaging over a goal a game. This is her 24th match, and that was her 25th goal. And for someone who had, and I'm being kind when I say there's just a lot to learn about footy when she began, she has developed her game so strongly. And she's got the first 2 goals of the day in round 7 for Southport. Hopkins burrowing through the middle. They've been able to get it forward. Big don't argue from Lee. Didn't quite work. Turns it over to Welsh. Plooples was in a good supporting role. Has time for a bounce. Looked almost surprised it came back to her, but a beautiful swerving run from Plooples. Gregory again going for the one hand. Falls to Barron. Handballs to Gregory. Beautiful unselfish play. If she gets space, this is a goal. Barron finishes things off. Barron had the option of pulling the trigger a couple of disposals earlier. Elected to go to Gregory. Didn't quite hit the target. But when you're moving forward at pace and you've turned the defence around, it does give you that extra half second to play with. And the fact that the handball didn't quite go as planned just meant she switched to plan B, which was assume Taylor's going to get the ball back and act as the support player. Intelligent play from Dakota Barron. And we're talking about goals per game averages. This is just her 3rd game at this level, and that's goal number 8. And she will be part, and in fact an important part, of the Queensland under-18 side in the upcoming National Championships. They play at Springfield early next month. Hunt back in the midfield. Went wide. Fogus. Davies. The 1-2 with Fogus. It's good enough. Welsh. Gee, she gives it a good thump. Goodwin going for the punch over the back of Baldwin, who's in her own goal-scoring form. Mostly a midfielder before now, but 4 goals against Cooperoo last week. And 3 for Southport the week before that. And by last week, I clearly meant last round. We had a bye last week. Keep up. Davis with the hands. O'Brien's been very involved in this quarter. Gets it out to Hunt. One of the best passes in this competition's history, Megan Hunt. And she found Maddie Baldwin. Baldwin, quite sure it's where she was aiming, but it fell beautifully for the debutant Nikisha Drew-Perkis. And she didn't seem nervous before the match, but any nerves that are there would evaporate if she can put this through the sticks. O'Brien off for a rest. Drew-Perkis is a goal scorer in the Bond University QAFLW. Played for the Suns Academy a couple of years ago, and as I said earlier, a junior at the Tweed Coolangatta Club. And been in good form in reserve grade, 2 goals in each of the last 2 rounds. I realise I keep reeling off stats of Southport goal scorers, but there have been quite a few of them lately. It's just good numbers. And in the words of one of my childhood heroes, I love to count things. So Southport pulling away in the first quarter to Hunt, who won 2 grand finals on this ground with their last club UQ. Beautiful hands through the middle, ends up with Lloyd. Lloyd going inside 50, just over the top, couldn't find Barron. Goodwin did well in defence, and she's able to keep hold of it and cause the stoppage. Out of zone umpire's blown a whistle. I'm not sure what that was for. In fact, I may be hearing whistles on the other ground now that I think about it. Good work from Burnett back to Goodwin. She'll come wide. Looking for Charlotte Millen. Found her. Just wasn't able to hold on, but there is forward movement from the Devils. As the Devils won 2 of their 4 premierships on this ground. Pulteney with good hands. Hunt found it. Twisted out of 1 tackle. Got the pass away to Fogus. Millen slipped off the tackle. Fogus. She goes wide. Lowry. Veteran from South Australia, brought some wonderful experience to this Devils side. But it's cut off at the back, and that's a beautiful run out of defence from Baltays. Out towards Barron. Not one of her more spectacular marks because it didn't need to be. And she has the opportunity to make a bit of history for Southport here. Southport's first ever game in the Bond University QAFLW was on this ground, round 1 of 2022. So they've been in the competition for 2.5 years. And Dakota Barron has a set shot from 30 out. And with that, Southport bring up 300 goals in the Bond University QAFLW.
Also, they're looking for shorts and not moving it, they're looking for shorts. So, it's like, even if they've got, like, if they can just don't get lazy, because they reach it.
Just in the last 5 minutes of this quarter, apart from one short section of play which might have lasted 30 seconds where Goodwin was able to cause a turnover and bring it out to this near side, Southport's had pretty much all the possession. They've been winning all the clearances. So Yeronga's come back, and they'll be confident. We'll begin with winning a clearance here. Lowry's moved into the middle. Didn't go to her, however. Went out this side to Fogus, who's dominating the clearances. Out to Plupel. She goes inside 50. Barron tried to get there from the back. Goodwin falls. Went around Harris. Harris did well to position herself, get it away to Hewitt. Hewitt coming wide. That'll fall into the arms of Tiani Brown. I say fall. She made sure of it. Brown with a low searching kick. Barron did everything except finish the mark. Burnett did well to get it to Hill. Wasn't able to identify the player in the contest who caused the turnover. It was Burnett who got it away. Sachasev just got it underneath to Rosenthal. Had no one to go to. Created space for herself. Clever use of speed from Rosenthal. Out towards McDonald, who's back on the field. Has Sachasev inside. Looks for her. Not able to find the target. Well cleaned up from Welsh, who came from the other side of the ground. She worked out that play about 5 seconds ago, knew where she had to be. Brown to Pluples. Inside to Brown. She goes into the middle, and I'm not sure who she was after, but it probably wasn't Lowry. Lowry, not her best kick, but got it through the middle, found Lunson. Lunson needs a target, found McDonald. Probably on the edge of her range. Tends to be more of a snap on the impossible angle goal specialist, McDonald. But you don't get to 59 goals in this competition without having a number of ways of scoring. Goes with a shorter pass, clever. Found Millen. Millen again short, way too close to the player. She would love to have that moment back. Maddie Watt opens beast mode, got it outside to Priest, who also is back on the ground, which either means her eye feels better or she decided she didn't need it. Outside to Hill. Clever handball, but forgot how tall Rosenthal wasn't. And that'll just pop over the boundary. Final minute of the first quarter. 5 goals for Southport, 2 to Taylor Gregory, 2 to Dakota Barron, and a goal on debut to Nikisha Drew-Perkis. Yeronga's had their moments, but when Southport has burst out of the middle and got the clearance from the restart, they have been lethal. Pluples retreats, was under pressure. Watt is able to clear, gets it over the head of Hewitt. Featherstone created space, got a good, well, gave a good shepherd to Drew-Perkis. Over the head of Lowry, off the chest of Baldwin. Good hit from Baldwin, no prior opportunity. Play correctly called to continue. Drew-Perkis. Inside to Lloyd, out towards Welsh. And less than a minute proved to be accurate only in the strictest sense. Quarter time at Lation Park, Southport 5-1-31. Lead Yeronga yet to score. This is round 7 of the 2024 Bond University QAFLW. You live close to all the bugs in the river? Sorry, you play close to all the bugs in the river?
Remember this quite saying that used to be good pollution of medical stuff, like ambulance operators, hospital peeps in the team, and it's like, I don't know whether that's why so many people get sick.
Oh, yeah, because they never get themselves to take care of themselves, and someone just calling and say, heal! Does Abby turn 17 or 18?
God, I've only got word. That I can't tell you. I can look it up.
She's one of those people who can play.
She's, I think she's still. No, I think she's transferred now, so she'll be. So what's the same last recent game is some milestone for us too. It was like so many games in the competition. It was based on some stats that you circulated.
I think it was round 4 was you're on the 200 game.
Yeah, something
And
like that.
first team, as far as I'm concerned, they would have, we have no records from the first team.
No,
Given the number of games that they back then is hardly unlikely to be on the side, even though it was only maybe I will never start talking about
Sorry to interrupt you. What you were talking about?
No, you need to do that.
Yeah.
And I'm so used to it now that I just try to make sure
You stopped beautifully around it.
I get to the comment just as it is.
You stopped very nicely. You spoke around it.
No, you do you, and my...
I don't normally give it 2 solid 2. Sometimes like 2 kind of.
No, you're
I like to wind them. There's an old 20 I wanted to make sure that
just say already, I've used broadcasters before, I'm happy to unmute myself.
Yeah.
So.
You've done this before.
Yep. And I'm going to go the other way.
That doesn't come out.
Oh my god, it's still, you've removed half the
Half the dust. It's a bit clearer.
Okay.
So two strong.
Southport on top, which is probably the predicted scoreline at quarter time. They've got 5 goals in the first quarter. 5-1-31 leading Yeronga yet to score. 2 goals each to Taylor Gregory and Dakota Barron, and 1 to Nikisha Drew Perkis. We miss out on a milestone and we gain another one today in the Yeronga side. Jamie Howell was due to play her 50th game today. She's had to be withdrawn from the side through illness. So, Jamie, please get well soon. And look, if you need, I'm very cheap if you want me to commentate your 50th game, even though you're the player in the competition who cares about my commentary the least. But also, Abby Lunson, number 1 for Yeronga. Happy 18th birthday. And I hope your teammates don't know it's your 18th.
Here we go, Pat!
But nearly ready to begin. Second quarter. We'll go through the umpires in a moment, proudly supported by Bradman's Windows and Doors. Southport running to the right of screen. Yeronga will be attacking the river to the left. Pulteney again winning the first hit out. Out towards Lunson. Inside, beautiful handball to Pulteney. Missed the target of McDonald ahead. Baltaze did well at centre half back. Ship running out. Just disposed in time. In fact, she didn't. And the free kick. Beautifully won by Sophie Wheeler. Premiership winner on this ground 6 years ago. She goes inside 50. Just knocked away from the forward target of McDonald. Priest under pressure from Lee. That's good work from Amelia Lee. In reserve grade, it took Yeronga until the final quarter to get on the board. It was only a point, but gee, that feels so much better than 0. Bellinger through the gap. Didn't have enough mustard on it, so to speak. Baltaze knocked it free. Good work from Millen. Got it forward to McDonald. McDonald with a shot went towards Lee. Over the boundary. I think the umpire half had the whistle in the mouth to call for a throw before. And I think the decision ended up being right, but I swear we heard just the barest hint of whistle. A pizzicato whistle, if you will. Out in front of the John Pearce scoreboard. Avalon Pearce, good stretch. Getting over the top of Pulteney is not easy. Pearce is then able to follow up and clear. Goes underneath the contest. Good work from Davis. Gives it to Davies. They've got in front of halfway, but it's turned over to Chelsea Wynn, who's ranking up the disposals in 2024. Running into a wall was Fogus. Lizzie Hill, not rewarded. Fogus gets a second opportunity and uses it to air swing. Georgia Davis just made sure she was going to land on something soft. And it turned out to be Bomber Matthews. No, Bomber is not soft. Can we just rewind that bit and erase it? Pulteney. Got it to Fogus. Been very busy in this game. Watt inside.
Well done, Luz.
Over the top of the target and Brown. Beautiful run back. That was from Lunson before. We'll talk about the number 1 jersey in a moment. Comes out wide from Kimber. Kimber looking forward for Featherstone. Knocked it up to Wynn. Wynn did well and a good handball to Hopkins. Got it onto her preferred right foot. She has a long kick. Didn't quite find Lee, but she'll win the free kick anyway.
Push hard, push hard, push hard. Chelsea, good job.
Amelia Lee, not a massive number of options. Got Bellinger to her left. Got Millen to her right. Ends up going straight through the middle to Wheeler. Wheeler marks in front of the goals. And the way that she worked herself into space unnoticed was clever play. She's been around a while, Sophie Wheeler. So won a premiership with Wilston Grange here in 2018. Third year at Yeronga. And she's put Yeronga on the board.
Well done, well done.
Abs. Well done, Abby. Huey. Good support. That was good. Good chat too.
You can, if you're a stats nerd like me, compare sides that have finished bottom of the table over the years. If you get the words wrong, it can sound a bit patronising. That's certainly not my intention, but it's a good indicator of the strength of the competition. We've got the bottom of the table side coming up against one of the undisputed big three in this comp, one of three teams that's got the best chance of winning this year's premiership. They've pushed them in the first quarter and just lost some key moments, and then they're the first team to score in the second. You could write a fairly long list of things to love about the Bond University QAFLW, and for me that's definitely one of them, is that you can watch any of the 8 teams and see some quality footy as they win the clearance again. Inside, just went past the run of Bellinger. Harris, the goal scorer Wheeler hovering, nearly got onto it, pinball. Eventually knocked back to Kimber. She's calm in the chaos. Hannah Davies, Fogus, out towards Ship. Positioned herself well, Lunson closed her down. Fogus again, who's been in everything so far today. Cleared by Boltays, and Hannah Davies takes a good mark, knowing that Hopkins was about to belt her. She brings it wide with an unintentional torpedo. Maddie Watts nearly made me break the microphone again. And play will stop. I think the umpire had the whistle in the mouth just as the ball came loose, so forgivable. In the field for the umpires today, Caleb Stevens and Tristan Burgess. On the boundary, Riley Clark and Will Kelly, and in goals, Aidan Morgan and Harper Eyre. The umpires proudly supported by Bradham's Windows and Doors. O'Brien back to Drew Perkis. Brown played the 1-2 with Hannah Davies. Went for the low accurate kick. It will eventually find Lloyd. Fumbles just outside 50. Uses her pace well to get away. Davies and Brown again. Brown, she's worked her way up the field. Has a shot from a fair way out. Off target to the right. I don't think Carmody got a finger to it, but not important in this circumstance. But Tiani Brown handled about 4 times in that movement. And nearly came home with a highlights reel. Out towards Matthews in the pocket. Back towards Carmody. She'll come wide. Overcooked for Wynn. Wynn gets a second opportunity. Finds Lunson. Back inside to Goodwin, who got smacked on 3 sides. And probably got up saying that was great, let's do it again. Davis, Pierce. Well taken by Lowry at the back. Yet another South Australian at this club. There was a bit of an influx at one point. Welsh hit the ground hard. I thought she'd copped a stray hand, but didn't. Ship did well, was able to seat, I think, Millen. Back towards Welsh. Lizzie Hill wins the free kick. Superb work from Hill. New to this competition, but brought up 50 senior games a couple of weeks ago. And finds a target in Wheeler, just a little bit hot to handle. Baldwin putting pressure on. And then pulled a player away from the ball. So Baldwin concedes the free kick, but I think as a coach you don't mind conceding those because it was conceded through intent and effort. Again looking for Wheeler. Ooh. So Welsh took the mark under pressure. Wheeler's hands just happened to collide with the neck, but the free kick was already given. No further action required. Hunt. Clever little knock to Pierce. Somehow Hewitt had that and then maybe got a call from behind and misinterpreted what it was, but it's eventually turned over. Too many numbers around the ball for Southport. Pierce to O'Brien. O'Brien looking for the target, undercooked it, and Camilla Burnett was able to cut it off in a manner which didn't really require all of the many skills she has. Carmody plays wide, and they've just struggled a little bit at times in this match to string a few passes together coming outside of 50, because inevitably that happens. One disposal misses the target. Lovely 1-2 to Hannah Davies. Didn't really, not sure who the target was, but either way, wasn't found. And Georgia Carmody says, oh, there's the boundary line there, may as well use it. So Yeronga winning this quarter for what it's worth. Southport certainly had the better of proceedings in the last 2-3 minutes. And a free kick, apologies, I had a wall in the way. A free kick's gone to Southport. So they will have a shot at goal. Baldwin. Check side. There was another whistle. That's a beautiful angle. Had so little to aim at, Maddie Baldwin. But her transition from midfield to forward is making an excellent chapter of her future autobiography. Maddie Baldwin on the board. And you would have got fairly short odds at the beginning of today of that happening.
Where am I?
So I repeat, I think all of Queensland and Tasmania very much looking forward to the games on June 22nd at Bond University. Please go to the game. And then when you have a boring work meeting during the week, you can watch the replay and hear the commentary. Then after that, South Queensland versus North Queensland. But also the Under-18 Championships. Queensland's first game, Sunday the 7th of July against Victoria Country. That'll be at Brighton Homes Arena at Springfield. And you can go to aflq.com.au for that. As Lloyd, forgot which way she was going for a moment, turned it over to Wynn. Not the first player in the comp to do that. Wheeler. Oh, just thrown away. Yeah, Lloyd, I think, just got caught in the moment, but it's only going to be a boundary throw in anyway, so all's well that ends well.
All right, Millen, work hard now, Millen.
It is humid. Temperature in the low 20s, the humidity probably about 80 or so. And sometimes that can put a bit of just grease on the ball, so to speak. Turned over to Welsh. Plays laterally. Makes Selena Priest run. It's a beautiful sight. Does well to get it over to Pluples. Pluples. Looking for Gregory. That was precise. Gregory looking for a shorter target. Got the lead from Baldwin. Just relaxed a little. Gets a second opportunity. Has to handball away. Just a little too casual, Baldwin. And from what her teammates tell me about Maddie Baldwin, that's probably the first time in history she's been referred to as casual. First time I saw her play, I asked her teammates, what's her style, what's she like? And they just said beast, full stop. She's already on the board today with a shot from a narrow angle. Gregory, good knockdown to Fogus. I notice she's wearing a black armband today. In fact, I might find out at half-time about the black armbands that Southport's wearing. Kimber, Bellinger was straight onto her. Not sure if Bellinger's moved into the back line or whether she's just playing deep. In fact, she's going back to the forwards, so she hasn't changed position. Southport still dominating territorially. Hunt just had her kick smothered. Goodwin cleaned up at the back, cleverly disposed to Wynn. Wynn needs to be quick as Shayla Lloyd was closing in towards Bellinger. Big fly from behind her from Kimber. He's able to get a pass away under pressure. Lowry attacked that hard. Players fumble. Baldwin comes out the front. Got it to Gregory, looking for space. There was none. Handball to Watt. Retreats, looking for Hunt. Wynn cleared off the ground. Satchasiv managed to retain possession while doing the splits. That is a combo. Ball up just inside the 50. Halfway through the second, it's been a much lower scoring quarter, but it was about now in the first quarter when Southport got a roll on. As it comes out to Hunt. Hunt looking for space. Checked onto her right foot. Carmody got hands to it at the back. Just not enough Weet-Bix from Megan Hunt, but good positioning from Georgia Carmody on the last line. It's a third minor for Southport. As Welsh takes a bit of a tumble under pressure from Millen. Baldwin working hard. Good work from Featherstone. Just a stray boot in there, possibly from Goodwin, who then pleaded her case for a free kick to the umpire. And some confusion from the players. It is a ball up. I think they thought it was going to be a boundary throw-in. And so they amble the last 5 metres to get to where the ball is. Clever from Gregory. Work again from Fogus. Got it inside to, I believe, Featherstone. Out towards Fogus again. Ran onto a good tackle from Hopkins. Drew Perkins has a shot, but the tackle needed to be rewarded and was. free kick from Hopkins. As I say, has added, well, I don't know where she played as a junior, but she's now proven herself at higher levels at both midfield and fullback, so she's skilled. And towards Welsh. Been a good last line of defence on a few times today. Got herself in trouble there under pressure from Bellinger and Rosenthal. Boundary throwing. There was just a hint for a moment that it may have gone out on the full. In much the same manner as it gave Southport a shot on goal up in the pocket in the first quarter. Falls inside to Burnett. Even when she's off balance, her kicking action looks gorgeous.
Yeah, well done.
Rosenthal not able to keep it. Welsh goes for the handball through traffic, picked off by Burnett again. Burnett straight through the middle, was looking for Wheeler. That was an important hand from Brown, who's been working well in all three zones today. Knocked it out. Well, Harris and Kimber met each other forcefully. And the umpire saw something late. So McDonald will have the free kick on the 50. She needs options up forward. Bellinger is there. Southport have, I think, about +2 or 3 in defence. Yeronga have not overcommitted. McDonald looking for the player in space. Just missed the target of Wheeler. Closing down by Ship, who went shoulder first. Millen in to help. Maddie Watt providing assistance. Ship gave herself space inside to Kimber. And Kimber doesn't just blast away. She was looking for Drew Perkis, who bumped off Lowry. Ooh, okay. Drew Perkis wins the free kick against Lowry. That is a fact of the match. We continue. Goodwin, first hands over behind Pearce. Got crunched in a sandwich in between Pearce and Baldwin. And I will say, look, just to tidy it up, I think the umpire made an error with the previous call, but I've lost track of how many I've made in this call, so everything's forgivable. Baldwin. Fogus. Got it back to Drew Perkis on her weaker left foot. Is able to get it forward. O'Brien creates space, check side. O'Brien on the board. Goal number 27 for Steph O'Brien in this competition. 43 matches. It's not even close to being the most matches in this competition. She's about a quarter of someone like Carly Welsh. But there's not much that Steph O'Brien has not achieved in the Bond University QAFLW. I think she's already in, you know, when we finally get a Hall of Fame, she's in that territory. And you've won a Emma Zilke medal, 2 grand finals, one of which you won best on ground. Beyond that, Queensland captain and best on ground last year at North Hobart Oval. And they're just the awards. The real reward is just coming to watch Steph O'Brien play. Hard and skillful, and a goal scorer. Fogus, probably best on ground so far, certainly best midfielder on ground. Davies just came off a couple of hands. This may work for Dakota Barron. Knocks it forward to herself, creates space twice, gets it forward to Davis. Davis went check side. Baldwin, brilliant support play from Southport. Each of the last 5 disposals at a guess was made under pressure, and they made all of them work because of the off-ball movement. It's not the kind of goal that gets nominated for Goal of the Year, except if the coaches voted on it, because the support play on that occasion was magnificent. And Southport have gone bang bang and hit the half century. There's still 3 minutes to go, late in the quarter. So Yeronga looking to dig deep. Southport looking to make sure that they give their coach Doc Doherty not just a 4-quarter effort, but an all of 4-quarter effort. Works wide to Brown, who's been busy today. Just goes underneath Featherstone. Wins, scrambling. Goes back towards Mallion. Goes a subterranean handball through the legs of O'Brien. Featherstone, Lloyd. Lloyd looking for Davis up front. Gets an awkward bounce. Has Barron in support. Thinks about it. Beautifully played the 1-2. Maybe just overcooked it. Davis finds a way in towards Baldwin. And she has a hat-trick in a very short space of time. The last 2 goals, very rapid. But again, The off-ball movement, every time a disposal doesn't quite work, the Southport forwards on the last two occasions, but we've seen it in defence as well, find a way to make it work by their off-ball movement. And to be fair, I know sometimes when a side near the top plays a side near the bottom, you can talk about percentage boosters and all that. I don't think it's got anything to do with maths. I think it's just about them wanting to play their way. And to be fair, Yeronga, they haven't flooded. They're trying to play their way. They've got ambitions this season. I don't know if they include finals, but they certainly include improvement as they win this clearance. Hopkins just bursts through three defenders, delivers it inside 50, goes over the back of Beltaze. Bellinger circling. May have been taken early. That's what Bellinger, as she impersonates a dead cockroach on the ground, is trying to communicate to the umpire, but she does have a stoppage. Heads back towards Wheeler. Wynn was looking for the left foot. Was that high from Kimber? That's how it's been called. Chelsea Wynn. .30 seconds left, so unless this falls very short, we may be watching the last kick of the quarter. But Wynn got her head over the ball, didn't play for the free kick. Not a heavy scorer. This match just across to the left. But they've bookended the quarter well. So they may just have time for the kick out and not much else. Yeronga showed a lot of enterprise in that half, but the support play of the Southport Sharks was sublime at times, and they scored 3 goals in pretty quick succession towards the end of that quarter, which is similar to what they did just after the middle of the first quarter. So Doc Doherty will be very pleased with how they've played it out. Stuart Mackay, he's got some encouraging signs to work with as the Yeronga players were really hassling around the contest for long periods, and they had their periods of territorial dominance. But the halftime score is Southport 9-3-57 over Yeronga 1-1-7. This is round 7 of the Bond University QAFLW live from Lation Park, Yeronga.
Inside this building is a simulated hospital ward, a high-tech biomechanics lab, a commercial kitchen, and a whole virtual home. Let's explore the new Bond Institute of Health and Sport in just 61 seconds. This is the 12-bed simulation hospital ward. From day one, Bond students gain hands-on experience in allied health and exercise science. This is the Work Play Lab, which gives students the opportunity to provide occupational therapy for our youngest, while the Activities of Daily Living Lab simulates a full home environment, giving students the chance to practice mobility work with our wisest. From sprinting to golf swings, this track can track it. Using pressure sensors and high-speed cameras, it can analyze anything from age-related conditions to elite sports training. Wow. The Kitchen Lab has solar-powered sustainable cooking stations, giving postgrad nutrition and dietetic students access to commercial-grade equipment.
Thank you.
Why don't you come and check out the Bond Institute of Health and Sport for yourself? Did you know Bond students have been in every Olympics since '92? How do they do it? I've got 61 seconds to race you through the life of a student in the Bond Elite Sport program. Strap in. Bond is known for its prowess in the sporting domain, supporting student athletes like Mia. Student athletes have access to flexible study loads, adjusted academic requirements, and tutoring. The top tier of student athletes even receive funding to assist with their travel and competition costs. Bond also runs 4 high-performance sporting programs that field competitive teams. There's netball, rugby, AFL, and swimming. With incredible facilities throughout campus, it means you can easily transition from this to this. Whether it's producing world-class athletes or offering scholarships to high-achieving students every single year, sport is alive and well at Bond University.
Well, not even coach. Because they made it into academy, and academy encouraged them to go up to the successful. And it's like, well, hang on, they're hardly going to level or build up a competition by bulking up one team, which is what they're doing at the moment. They encourage everybody who's in academy to go to a team that's successful. It's like, well, we were successful, we could be successful, but if you keep poaching all the good players, well, it's not the academy poaches them, but they're actively encouraging them to leave and go elsewhere. It's like, it's wrong. You should be trying to build all the teams up to make it more even. Well, how good is it if you've got one or two teams that are really good and the rest that aren't? And like, they're never going to get any better because they're always playing weaker teams. We've just got 10 to go at 5. We'll heat up at 2 and 1. Back into it. I'll be ready for a sit down after the end of this game. Oh man. I'll sit down in my seat there, so it's easy to just stretch a bit. Spend 50 hours a week sitting behind a desk driving a computer. Neither of it is good for you. Standing up is bad for you. As I sit there. So the way the canteen is closed. Something new. At the end of this game, you have to remember not to get people lock everything up when you're finished. Because the last time we played here, it's like, oh, when you're on your way out, close your it, and the guy goes, and I forgot there was a game on straight up. So they turned up to get in the box, I just shut everything down. Well, it's just most of the time up here. In the break, I mean, I tore up with the type, pulled off with the time machine. Came back. Yeah, and I recommend the tropical Red Bull. It doesn't taste too bad, but I wouldn't get excited about pear and cinnamon. Caffeine. It's keeping me going, keeping me awake. Okay, 7 minutes. like remembering to do it as the anomaly. Forgetting to do it, half of the course. It's on my list of things to do. I just in between running around doing all the bits and pieces, opening everything up and getting it all set up. And, well, it's like team manager. I shouldn't even be up here. I'm supposed to have other people doing this. And I like scoreboard, live scoring, and timing. You know, it's like it should be at least two people. Oh, here we go. I think that's what Daniel's doing too. Nice little tweaks. That's 5 minutes. Daniel.
Sorry.
Climbing to his heights again.
Yeah, I just need to breathe for half an hour. No, I was just talking to some. I was just talking to some South Legions, and I forgot to ask about the black armbands.
Oh!
So
Yeah, I saw them putting the tape on. I meant to ask them as well when earlier when we were doing team sheets and I forgot.
that's what's happening.
So just under 4 to go.
So again, because because again, there's no one who bounce ideas off. So also it's funny. Particularly with the rep games, I like the commentary. You know, they're used to TV broadcasts where the camera's on you during the breaks and you do the spread analysis. So when they're commentating that game, they'll do all that. When it goes online, that's all cut. They just start at the side and they finish at the final zone. All this amazing stuff you think you're talking about, complete waste of time.
Southport people. Sorry, can you come over for a moment? Sorry. Yeah, we just wanted to ask about the armbands.
Yeah,
Who passed?
Granddad.
Sorry.
One of the players' grandfathers.
One of the players' grandfathers.
Maddie Golf.
Maddie Cole.
Golf, yeah.
Oh, Cole.
Yeah.
Thank you. There you go. I figured if I leaned out and yelled a bit, I might get somebody's attention.
Team's returning, right?
It's like, don't be shy to ask questions.
Oh, I didn't know she was there, otherwise I wouldn't have.
No, I could see a foot waving around and there was 2 ladies standing at the fence.
that's-
Is it Southport people?
Just a swirl.
I could just see this foot waving. It's like, well, somebody down there.
So I was about to do a big exhale and you in front of me, so I had to go.
Come on, Southport peeps, where are we?
I swapped back over for the third. Cool. That's it. You want to be fresh for time.
I ring him in the middle to get it to chase Southport. Probably can't get it either. It's probably they're on the far side.
They'd also get mixed up with, I think they're here in the Hooter on the field too.
Yeah. Hey Kim, can you just go and chase Southport? They probably haven't heard the leader. Oh, actually, don't worry. They're coming out now. Don't worry. All good. Thank you. Bye-bye. We've had issues trying to get teams back on the field.
Yeah. So, the point is you know about them, and when you've got enough bodies, you can always station one of your own students there. So,
In about a minute.
sure, just give me a second. Just, what does that sound like?
Hmm?
Daniel Viles, just so you know where to send the complaints. And Southport leading by 50 points. 9-3-57 plays, Yeronga 1-1-7. For Southport, 3 goals to Maddie Baldwin, 2 each to Dakota Barron and Taylor Gregory, and 1 apiece to Steph O'Brien and Nikisha Drew Perkis. For Yeronga, their lone goal scorer was Sophie Wheeler early in the second quarter. We noticed during the first half that the Southport players were wearing black armbands. Maddie Galt, who has played a bit of first grade in the past and is in reserve grade at the moment, her grandfather passed away, and I think this is something that a lot of clubs do very well, where they promote themselves as being a family club, and that extends to the families of the people of the family club. And their ability to just grieve with their teammates is a wonderful quality. So to Maddie Galt and her family, we wish you all the best at this time of grief, and we're sorry for your loss. The Sharks are back on the job. As I say, 50-point leaders. And I will keep plugging this Queensland-Tasmania game on June the 22nd. Several players in the Queensland squad here today from Yeronga. They've got 4 players on the field: Courtney McDonald, Lucy Bellinger, Maddie Goodwin and Chelsea Wynn. Southport have Rihanna Shipp, Steph O'Brien, Maddie Watt, Taylor Gregory, Selena Priest and Kaylee Kimber. And then there's the Queensland under-18 side. Faraday Hopkins from Yeronga has been named. She's done some wonderful things already today. Her work in the centre, there was one clearance where she broke 3 tackles and suddenly appeared on the other side of a fairly substantial wall. For Southport in this match, Dakota Barron, Alana Welsh and Georgia Davis are all in the under-18 side, plus a couple of reserve graders, Siobhan Ross being one. Sorry, just distracted for a moment. Southport a little bit late back onto the field, simply because the chain sheds and the hooter have a fair bit of ground between them, and it's not uncommon, I'm told, for visiting teams not to hear that sound. But we heard it, you heard it, and the second half is underway. Southport attacking the river, Yeronga attacking the retirement home. Figuratively. Back towards Pluples. The right halfback had to track back a long way from the wing. Good pass, but front position was gained by Hewitt. Trying to get away from Featherstone and succeeds. Hit the top of the boot. And read well by Georgia Davis. Assessed her options. Got there on the rebound, so to speak, to Drew Perkis. And Featherstone, I'm going to have a word with them about their headgear. One's got to be bright purple. Back to Goodwin. Goodwin touched in flight by the sound of it. Just awkward bounce away from Wheeler. And that enables the turnover to go to Brown, who's been excellent today. Through the middle step, Georgia Davis. Straight up the guts, went through the hands of Lowry. Fell to Featherstone. Featherstone with the handball to Barron. Barron's in space. And that was a disappointing finish. Beautiful build-up. It's like a date that begins with a romantic kiss and ends with an argument next to a dumpster. And it will take a while to retrieve the ball back from behind that goal at the river end. But Southport on the board early. Although notable that Yeronga, I don't even think they won the centre clearance, but they were just able to push Southport back about 30 metres. So they elect to come out of defence. Matthews comes wide to Goodwin. So it's been called touched and then out. I thought Lunson may have got there inside, but the boundary umpire is positioned significantly better than I am. I don't think I'm required here anymore. Goes over the head of Hill. Good work from Hopkins. We get down and up very quickly. Went underneath Lee. Davis's stretch wasn't quite successful. It got away from Bellinger. Brown cleans up yet again and finds Hunt in the middle of the field unmarked. I've said that once or twice over the past 4 years. Pluples wide. Stepped inside beautifully. Looking for the target of Barron. Apologies, it was Davis. Turned over. And Yeronga's been quite adept at doing that for a lot of today. Able to be cleared over the head of Brown this time, and Wheeler, and Hill. Hill tried to get the hit on. That was beautiful work from Brown to get the handball away. And 2 handballs later, Hunt's going back inside 50. Over the head of Gregory, knocking it away from Burnett. Davies in support. Burnett did beautifully. Appeals for the free kick, not forthcoming. Turned over to Gregory. Good attempt at the mark from the back. I think it was Barron, it was. She's back up. Yeronga turned over. Goodwin. As you will hear whistles from the game on the other oval, so there'll be a few people confused, not least of all the big guy in the commentary box. He doesn't matter so much. Hunt, focus on her own. Focus looking for a target, can see Gregory. Just hit the ground before she got there. Not sure if she got a push, but either way, she was down and missed it. But it's chaos ball inside the 50. Free kick to Yeronga. Now, I suspect there was just a bit of holding of the player away from the yellow leather thing. Lovely run from Wynn. Not such a great pass. The first bit was good. Good win. Handball looking for Bellinger. Got to Pulteney. Georgia Davis got down low. Good body position. And then was able to pilfer and break a tackle. Quadruple effort. Inside to Watt. Hunt sweeping around the back. They got in each other's way for a moment. Over the head of Fogus, but she's got a lot of space to work in. Uses her weaker left foot, which is still pretty strong, to deliver it on a plate with a cloche to Taylor Gregory. And the Southport players, first of all, their third and fourth efforts are impressive, but they have to make them. Yeronga's first and second efforts are excellent. And then they'll just drop off a little. So they're not far away. But it's about Southport at the moment. Taylor Gregory looks to have pushed it across, looking for a mark, dropped. Barron looking for space, snaps on a tight angle, didn't make it, and Lowry was all over it, or possibly under it. Found Hopkins, maybe the hard way. Let's not get picky. Hopkins again has to go to a contest. Tiani Brown made a very good effort, was maybe just a metre too far forward, and that's not really any fault of hers. Went all the way back to Baltays, out to Ship. Has Priest in support. Fell short. Priest recovered well. She was under pressure. Megan Hunt standing in her own postcode. Straight through the middle and found the run of Kriska, who then took on too much. Turned it over to Lowry. Lowry! Beautiful run into space from Millen. Yeronga building. 2 more passes they need to string together. There's their first attempt. Wasn't able to get it to Harris. Looks to be turned over. Georgia Davis has been everywhere so far this quarter. She's not just height. So many riders just focus on the fact that she's 6 feet tall. She's got a lot more to a game than that. Pulteney surprised by the speed of the handball. Fogus, Pilford, that was a throw. Or it could have been called a throw, could have been called. The umpire's arm went up probably the wrong way, but it's a free kick to Yeronga. As Pulteney's rewarded. Yeronga a chance to build again. Davis at the back, it falls through to Harris. Harris outside to Millen. Millen with a bit of time and space. Just not able to get the ball in the right part of the foot. But again, they're competing. And we often see in the AFL, probably more the men's these days than the women's, but it'll happen in the women's eventually, that you'll see a team that finishes, say, 12th or 13th in the table one year, and you just feel they're not far away, and then suddenly next year they're a top 2 side. I'm not about to place undue pressure on Yeronga, but the foundations are in place. Win inside to Lowry. Lowry onto the boot quickly. Millen was just a half a second late, and Southport were able to get a fist to the ball. Priest in the pocket. Clears. Pulteney stretches with one arm, which is probably all she could do in the circumstances. Lowry comes towards the boundary. Pulteney. The tackling was strong from Drew Perkis, who wins the free kick. Wins the holding free kick. Keeps it wide. Oh, superb work from Lloyd, just not able to hold on at the last. Kicked away by Lowry to Ship. Ship, lovely step inside Satchisiv and Rosenthal. Finds another Stephen O'Brien.
left. You got to drop
O'Brien looking for the one target of Barron. Misjudges it for once. Goodwin through the middle.
back. How is that?
Not out, sir. Pearce just kicked it away from Bellinger. And Southport able to turn it over through to Baltays after originally being held by Pearce. They've got numbers on the right and they've got a bit of space up forward. Shayla Lloyd has moved inside 50. But the target's beyond her. Barron flew from the back.
Watch out the back.
Yeronga's got numbers. It's just a case of getting first to the ball because Barron was working very hard. Lowry had her handball more or less redirected by her opponent. But they've been able to at least cause a stoppage, a boundary throw-in, about 45 from goal. Temperature dropping slightly. It's still probably just above 20 or sitting on 20.
Hey, Roddy, you got to have that.
The humidity is thick, which means sweat levels are high, which is probably the main cause of any handling errors that you're seeing at the moment. Rain predicted, not here. The volleyball match is won by Yeronga and then turned over by Watt. Said, I'm here to play footy. Fogus turns in 4 directions. Eventually got a handball in field, but another turnover caused by Yeronga having numbers at the contest. Harris and Bellinger combined well. Bellinger was wrapped up as soon as she gained possession. But again, their ability to break out of trouble in what is so far a goalless third term.
Same time, still a
But when you're 50 points down, that's usually your first aim is to not concede. Although Southport on the move here, O'Brien towards the goal square. It's got a bit of distance on it. Steph O'Brien. Two goals today from Steph O'Brien. Apologies for the commentator's curse taking effect, but they got the movement up the right-hand side. And Steph O'Brien came from netball a few years ago, and like a lot of netballers, had a lot of work to do on her kicking. You wouldn't know it now. And for her to be able to slot one from, it's probably about 35 metres when she kicked it, on the hardest angle for a right footer. I'm not sure what the footy version of LinkedIn is, but the skills section on the Steph O'Brien page probably needs a second page. But it's the Queensland captain who breaks the drought in the third quarter. As the ball out will be taken again.
No, well, sorry, no. She was off the
Megan Hunt tells Steph O'Brien what to do because she believes she can. Why not? Moving it out through Fogus. Through Davies. Davies follows up her own possession. She will go inside 50. Looking for Welsh, who's moved forward. I thought she had that. Just dropped it at the last under pressure from Hopkins again. Apologies, Carmody. Now towards Fogus. Tried to step inside. Maybe needed to put it on the boot then. The handball was inside to O'Brien. Hit the deck early. Drew Perkis. Got it goalward. Yeronga have the numbers. Featherstone. Featherstone trying to create something.
She's in the forward line, Megan.
And in the end, she was introduced to the boundary line rather rapidly.
She's their forward line.
So Yeronga 2 to the third power, plays Southport 2 to the sixth power.
I'm just saying, like, if we're going to take Faz out,
Midway through the third term.
but she's also not in the.
O'Brien finds Welsh. Welsh was given a lot of space and kicked it to someone else who had a lot of space in Lana Lowry. Goes wide. That was a calm kick. Something about people who've played a lot of footy where they're operating in slow motion and fast motion simultaneously. That makes any sense at all. Back inside 50, they're getting a lot of repeat entries. Hewitt got first to it and then wasn't able to clear. Back towards Matthews. Using the handball out of defence. Win. Under a lot of pressure. Found herself between 3 sharks. Never pleasant. Featherstone on wind.
Find
On
someone.
win. Brings things to a halt.
GC, who are you on?
That's what I got confused about.
Go two, GC.
Ball up over near the stormwater drain. Gregory, well read by Hopkins. Got away from O'Brien. Through the hands of Ship. Satchisiv chasing. Tried to get away from Hunt. Hunt found a way. She always does. Just ahead of Davies. Davies had no space. What there was shut down by Goodwin, who's done extremely well. Not quite got the fist to the ball. And she wins a free kick against Alana Welsh for a push in the back. Again, I don't want to curse Yeronga like I did last time, but they've held Southport extremely well this quarter.
Get over.
Goodwin comes wide.
Go, Satch.
Kriska beautifully over the back. Formerly known as Tennille Wilshire, played for Bond in the 2021 grand final here. He was very good at halfback that year. Found Steph O'Brien with a good pass. Outside 50, looking for the usual targets up front. Baldwin was the main one on that occasion. Back towards Featherstone, looking for space. Has to handball back. Didn't find the target. Hill was bumped off it. Welsh, who's enjoying playing forward in this third term. Usually a halfback. It is one thing that both of the academies do well is increase the versatility of their players. I already mentioned Hopkins. Even Brooke Sheridan, who's recently signed as a forward for Essendon, having previously been at Brisbane, was used at fullback by Queensland under-18s. Lovely step through traffic from Hunt. Goodwin coming the other way. Clears well. Over the centre circle, just went over the back of Kimber. And that gorgeous long stride of Kimber. And then the ability to deliver it to the chest of Hannah Davies. Up towards the 50. Finds Lloyd, just fumbles, but she's got a lot of time and space. Has Gregory inside. Instead, Satchisiv shut down the space beautifully. Another player who's grown. This is her fourth year at Yeronga, Maddie Satchisiv. I don't know if she's got an official leadership role at the club. She certainly has an unofficial one.
So just pull that.
Just an increasingly assured presence on a football field is Maddie Satchisiv. Camilla Burnett returns to the field. Scrambling at half forward. It's Hunt who gets it loose to O'Brien. O'Brien from about 45 doesn't go for the shot, just goes for the pass. Goodwin has made a lot of good intercept marks just in the last few minutes. Hewitt got herself into space well, provided a good option. Goes wide looking for Rosenthal. Has the run inside of Burnett. Wasn't able to find her.
Really good.
Called for holding. So Hewitt concedes the free kick to Ship. Ship goes back up towards the hot spot. Falls over the back of everyone. Carmody was calm. Featherstone got onto the ball. Handball inside to O'Brien. Looking for runners. Gregory. Gregory shoots from about 30. Lowry's in position. And she'll take the mark rather than concede the point. Which was the right thing to do, and she doesn't need my approval. Onto the 50. Not really kicked to a target. Hunt tries to manoeuvre the ball with her back, and somehow it worked. Inside to Welsh. Welsh, her kick was slightly scuffed. Barron ran through, got a horrible bounce. O'Brien to clean up, creates her space, muscles her way through the pack. Lowry went for a volley. Would have looked great if it worked. Alas, it did not. Matthews needed to react quickly. And the only person I've seen successfully do a volley from defence is Ashley Williamson, who's now a coach. It was early in 2021. The video is available.
Huey, go back to it.
Chelsea win, assessing her options.
Get over, Huey.
Good positioning
Get over,
from
push
Millen.
over. Huey, push over.
Millen towards the middle of the field. Needed to go to a contest. Hill gave an option. Handball ended up being good. That's a beautiful run from Hopkins. Hopkins off the top of the boot. Needs to find a target up front. Lunson. Lunson running onto it. Took on Kimber. Just about one. Hopkins off the ground. Misses to the left. What a goal that would have been. That's twice today we've seen the strength of Faraday Hopkins in stunning action.
Stays in. Stays in.
As the score moves to 3 squared against 8 squared. It's a Pythagorean scoreline at Lation Park. Southport needing to build again. Into the arms of Pluples. Yeronga had the numbers there, and maybe they were positive magnets to the ball's positive magnet, but Pluples took it almost uncontested. That's lovely from Gregory. It's a photogenic mark. Has Pluples to the left. Elects to go longer because she saw Davies in space with Fogus and support. Falls to Fogus. Inside to Watt. Stretches. Has a lot of time to get into control. Pluples, they've got numbers. She elects to go a little bit longer, looking for Barron. It was too low and Burnett got a strong fist to it. Matthews and Carmody were closest. Fell to O'Brien. She goes forward to Shayla Lloyd. Shayla Lloyd! Her first goal in the Bond University QAFLW. Made her debut back in round 2. And has looked increasingly comfortable ever since. And it's a wonderful thing to see her on the scoreboard, Shayla Lloyd. So again, in one sense, Yeronga can say, well, we've kept Southport to 2 goals in that quarter, but I think they're entitled to be more ambitious than that. Remember, if Hopkins had been able to get what was admittedly a difficult shot on target at the other end, and they'd been able to basically halve the third quarter with a goal apiece, that would be a real feather in the cap. Alas, it's, in a manner of speaking, a 2-0 loss in that quarter. I'm making up stats as I go, but you get the idea. Out wide towards Brown. In fact, Brown provides the shepherd for Pluples. Kicked it to 3 Devils. Rosenthal couldn't work out where to kick the ball, so she kicked it into someone's armpit. Why not? Pluples. Back where we began. Breaks a tackle. Breaks halfway. Burnett read that yesterday. So a third quarter of missed opportunities for Yeronga. Unless they can mark it here, they don't. They kick it away. But the good news for Southport is that they absorbed a bit of pressure. They had lots of periods of territorial dominance, and they ended up scoring the only 2 goals of that quarter, them being to Steph O'Brien and to Shayla Lloyd just a couple of minutes ago. So Southport, it's a 61-point lead at 3-quarter time. Both teams with encouraging signs and frustration to emit at the 3-quarter time break. Thank you for joining us. Round 7 of the Bond University QAFLW here on the official AFLQ YouTube channel. Yes, so once again, so I've got something I can go back and being in a timekeeper's room where you've got more wall than window in front of you. I've done standing on the scaffolding at the ridge door where the wind is 45 where you sort of just absolutely drenched in the
So last year's lights, because these new lights, but last year's lights, like, and you couldn't see some of the numbers down in the top. I don't know how you call it. Maybe you would have recognised the people and gone with the names, because I've been using your commentary to work out how to put the scores in. Because it's like, can't see.
private service.
Yeah, like the lights now are a lot better, and it was so hard to see. And our Pride jerseys, like, I know they called out now that they've got to have the white numbers, which is great. The year after we bought them with rainbow colours on the green.
Here's the thing. What I said was ultimately. Yeah, 2 million season.
I'm waiting for them. I know I'm a bit too old for that.
Yeah. You do have a microphone.
I do. You only get Julie yelling at the window. We were somewhere way out in the north side.
You've not been told. Why?
The details are out.
Oh,
If I remember, Chase, you've got my number, Chase. Yeah. So forward to team.
that's actually in this role. I know. This is the first year you get paid. So we kind of we treat it as a casual employees. So
Yeah, no, the details came out last week.
sure. I'm glad details of Friday came out. That'd be
Well, it's got the game schedule.
okay. Oh, is that on the Northern Bay Regional Sports Complex?
No, it's where the Lions used to play originally.
Oh, Brendale.
Brendale, that's
yeah,
it.
that's it. What was it called? South Pine.
That's it.
Oh, it's at South Pine. Cool. Where the broadcast box is about 30 metres back from the match. So you basically commentate by telescope.
So you've been carrying on.
If you're able to, like I won't talk here, but if you're able to just zoom in on that, or look, you've not even zoom in, just show it. And then when you're sick of that, go over there. So,
And then whenever it's coming on, that's when it's a goal.
go on, guys.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Remaining in this round 7 clash of the Bond University QAFLW at Lation Park, Yeronga. My name's Daniel Viles. I think the hooter here needs some more fibre, but it's a 61-point lead to Southport, so you would think, barring something that will have movies made about it, that the 4 points are secure. But the mini storylines within this game have been tremendous. We've seen Yeronga probably outclassed today, just in terms of one-on-one player. The Southport probably just have better cattle at the moment. But they've shown a lot of industry, a lot of good efforts, and maybe just they don't have the polish of the Southport side. But that's not to take away from Southport. The reason they have polish is because they've worked hard for it. Nothing today's happened by accident. They train very hard. They've become a bit of a destination club in much the same way that Yeronga was throughout the 2010s. Think of people like Sam Virgo, who moved here from Griffith Maruka so that she would have access to the facilities that she believed were necessary to get her to AFLW level. And there are some players who see Southport like that now, but when they put on the black and white jersey, they're not playing for an AFLW jersey, they're playing for the Sharks. And they've combined beautifully at times today. But 1 quarter remaining. It's the first day of winter, and we are sweating. Southport will get the meaningful clearance as Kimber's moved on to the ball. I was about to say gets the first inside 50. She managed to circumnavigate the 50, and it beats Drew Perkis over the boundary. They haven't relied on one goal scorer today, Southport. They've had a few different routes to goal, and they've used most of them.
Like, get in front of your opponent and just turn.
Drew Perkis and Featherston, the smaller midfielders and forwards, done very well. Fogus has been outstanding today. Looping handball inside to Brown. Brown goes for precision. Off the hands. Featherston! Makes it look easy. That ball didn't bounce all that kindly for Scarlett Featherstone. And to be able to get the leaping half volley, there's a few viewers observing that, including commentators who would have done a hamstring doing that. Featherstone, I've got to get that right. Made it look very easy and got Southport's 12th for the afternoon. So Featherstone has her 4th goal in her 4th match in this competition. Maddie Watt, always strong. Beautiful hands through the middle. O'Brien to Fogus was the last pass. Fogus inside 50 or onto the edge of the 50. Taken well by Baldwin. Baldwin has shipped a little bit shorter Has Barron waving her arms like she just don't care. For good reason. Again, I'm a great believer that the Bond University QAFLW is enough. It's not just a factory for the AFLW. But I think Dakota Barron's just got AFLW key forward written all over her. And that's not really a revolutionary statement. We get a very good view of this set shot. And the commentator's curse strikes. But everything I said stands. And without predicting anything at all, I'm just looking forward to watching Dakota Barron play for as long as she wants. That mark was pretty much straight from the coaching manual. Yeronga come wide, and well positioned was Kathleen Mallion. Matthews plays the 1-2. Good work from Featherstone. Equally good work from Wynn, who's then able to wrap up Featherstone. Semi Fogus looking for space. Went wide to Gregory. Gregory handballs out wide to Hunt. Hunt saw the option in Ship. It looked like a missed kick off the boot. Oh me of little faith. Ship goes centrally. Barron couldn't get to that one on the back, as at one stage it looked like the players were forming a train with the shoulders of each on the, sorry, the hands of each on the shoulders of the one in front. Burnett with the free kick in the end. No, Burnett not with the free kick. The umpire just gave a bit of a scant look to say naughty. Gregory down, only got to Goodwin. Wynn looking for a teammate, eventually found one. Good work by Hewitt, using her pace to get away from Baldwin about 3 times. Couldn't hit the target, and Lunson. Meant to say this earlier, at the beginning of last season, Yeronga decided that their number 1 jersey, most famously worn by Emily Bates, would be given each year to the young player who showed the most Bates-like qualities of just tenacity, going hard for the ball, skill. Last year it was Steph Rosenthal. She's moved to number 9 this year. Free kick is awarded to Southport. They'll have a shot on goal. This year it's Abby Lunson. No, it was right the first time. It was awarded to Yeronga. They'll be able to get out of defence. Goodwin under pressure from Pluples. Pluples attacked that hard, and then Goodwin attacked Pluples. He's already out. Comes out towards Fogus. Left foot. May have deflected off a head. Couldn't quite see. Hewitt tried to get away and just drew a bit of high contact from Maddie Watts. No. Yes. I knew what was going on. First time for everything. So make it outside of 50. Got to retain possession. And they do without control. Wheeler tried to clear. Didn't quite work. Brown. Davis. Kimber. Kimber, who I think has been moved forward. She'll be playing, in fact, I think I saw her start on the ball in this quarter. Davis did well, got her arms free twice. Kimber, with a fairly unconventional handball, but as long as you maintain possession, you can do it however you want. Kicked away, Mallion charged onto that beautifully. Found the run of Millen. Has a couple of targets forward. Maddie Watt put good pressure on the disposal, and it turned into a lottery for a second. Megan Hunt knew where she wanted to run, had a teammate in the way, but found the safety valve of Tiani Brown. Has Ship outside, but has Fogus just a little forward. Fogus looked for the tall target of Gregory, fell behind it to Wynn. Wynn's had to drop behind the play a lot today, but she's done it well. And Rachel Harris in the middle. Not sure of the reason Sophie Dunn's not playing for Yeronga today. I suspect it's an injury. Lower calf injury, I'm told. Or maybe even a foot injury. Sorry, just playing charades with one of the Yeronga staff here. But Southport have turned it over. But she is someone they've missed today. Comes out wide to Shayla Lloyd. Got her first goal at this level earlier this afternoon. Lowry maybe played for the... Oh, in fact, no, that's cruel. She did not play for the free, and she's come up a little bit sore from that last contest. Hacked forward, Rosenthal did well to weave through traffic. Goes into the middle of the field. Hill just did enough to put off Avalon Pierce. And once again, Georgia Davis, who's been excellent today, starts a chain forward, but the tackling pressure of, I think, Amelia Lee was able to cause the turnover. Still only 16 or so, I think, Amelia Lee. Looking more comfortable each week. It was in the hands of Kimber, and she wasn't able to come down. But there's a little Ginger getting up. Millen with a tackle as Brown hesitated. Brown hasn't made many mistakes today. That was one, and Millen capitalised. Millen forward. The whistle was from the other match. Bellinger just not able to connect. The shoulders just drop a little as the ball's turned over and cleared by Fogus. Welsh on her bike straight away. Saw the gap in front of her. Looking forward for Baldwin. Needs to get over Carmody. Baldwin marks. Baldwin will run into goal. That is her fourth for today. And that went from centre half back to the middle of the sticks in probably about 7 seconds. But that gives Maddie Baldwin 10 goals in 3 matches. As I said, mainly known as a midfielder. Had a bit of a scoring spree playing juniors in country Victoria a few years ago. She's been tried as a forward in the Bond University QAFLW. And without putting too fine a point on it, it's worked. Pulteney never gives up. Couldn't win the clearance, but got the hit out. Hunt went forward. Horrible bounce for Barron. May fall towards Welsh and co. Barron at the back of the pack. Stood up without it. Regaining possession through Davies. What a fair way out. And a good fist from Carmody to keep the scoring to a minor level.
Millen, boys, Millen, talk to them, tell them where they need to go.
Yeronga played right. Spins away from Hopkins, but she was able to create some space. The handball was probably in hope more than design. They held onto it for a moment, turned over to O'Brien. O'Brien's been brilliant at key moments so far today. Hunt showing all their usual skill. Watt forward towards Hannah Davies. Turned over in the pocket and then pushing it back almost rugby style. Chelsea win. Maddie Watt and co decided that whatever way they could create a stoppage, legally and strongly in the forward pocket, they were going to do it. Polton just coming in a bit far, but it fell to Chelsea win. That's her worst kick of the season. She's had a brilliant year, and still managed to make it work, coming out to Millen. Good run from Hill, just overran it. Turned over. Baltaze. Barron took the mark in no space at all, ran into space, snapped around. How many skills do you want in one player?
Guilty. He's Taylor Ruck or Georgia going? Taylor Ruck. Stay back, George, stay back.
So a third game at this level. 6 on debut. Then 1 against Bond University the next week, although probably the highlight of that day was her marking. She's got a hat-trick today against Yeronga. And you get the impression with someone like Dakota Barron that even when she's having an off day with the boot, just the fact that she's such a good target, and she's only mid-170s in terms of height, she's not a giant. But because she's such a good marker, she can draw defenders and create space and crumbs for teammates. But it's all about Yeronga now. They got the clearance. And now the free kick to Chelsea win as she was held late after disposing, I suspect. She goes inside, found a good run. Classic work from Bellinger. Straight away looking out wide for Wheeler. Priest did well. Wheeler with a follow-up effort. Gregory's little tap on the ground wasn't quite as good as she wanted. Goes back to Priest. Kriska. Not sure that it was meant for what, but it got there. And then Kimber comes wide. And Featherstone, apologies, Drew Perkins had her own postcode. Got it up to Barron. She even fumbles with class. Looks into space, finds Hannah Davies. Hannah Davies hasn't scored a lot this season. Swings away. I was going to say with Davies before, she was the leading scorer in the early days of the Southport side, back in the QAFLW era, captained them as well. These days, you look at her stats and you think, well, what was she doing? But you watch the game, and the amount of selfless work that she does in the front 50 to create space for other players, just little 1%ers, little shepherds, maybe a bit of pointing and directing of players. I doubt Peter Doherty would ever want to name us forward side without Hannah Davies. I certainly wouldn't, but I'm not in the same class as Doc. Good run down the right, that's Rosenthal. Got herself in a bit of trouble at the end, but had Poultney with her. And they have turned it over. Maybe just boxed themselves in a little. But Lloyd, she'll go back up towards the 50 for a moment. Looked like Welsh was going to take a specky. Turned over, win. Taken in front by Davis. 3 older sisters signed with AFLW clubs. There might be 3 different ones at the moment. One at Sydney, one at GWS, and one at the Gold Coast. So she'll have to find a 4th. Barron with an air swing. Went back to, I believe it's Drew Perkins. No, that was Featherstone. What I need, if they're going to wear headgear that looks like that Featherstone and Drew Perkins, I need them to also act as QR codes so that I can use my reader to identify them properly. Too much to ask? Maybe so. Out the back to Watt. Ship. Ship inside 50. Barron has pulled off it, but again, attracting attention. Look at the crummers around. It's Welsh. Just hooks it. So she'd like to kick again. Gets a fortuitous bounce. Carmody, handballed under pressure. Found Rosenthal. Couldn't get away, but good follow-up from Carmody. And they will be able to clear towards the boundary. That's just defending 101. I don't mean to diminish it, just saying they did well, things that you learn early. If you're defending and you're in front of goal, back each other up and get the ball out wide. 5 minutes remaining. It's just starting to, your screen isn't flickering. There is just a little bit of rain. But I dare say all it's going to do is replace the sweat on the ball and won't make handling necessarily any more difficult. Good work by Kriska at the back. Didn't quite land the handball. Turned over to Harris. Harris wide to Bellinger. And she's able to wait for support. The rain just getting a little bit heavier. I suppose the only plus side. Well, 2 plus sides. One is that it came at the end of the match. And 2 is that hopefully there's enough time for a mudslide. Good work by Ship at the back. Another one, she just works well, forward, midfield and back. Oh, beautiful! Dakota Barron came deep. And we're going to be seeing that a lot. Infield to Welsh, had a lot of space to work in. She's got a long kick. Just off target. And I suppose there'd be a time when Baldwin needs to attack that harder and make sure, but I just wanted to see what would happen. But I do enjoy the long kick of Alana Welsh. And there have been times where maybe she hasn't always taken the right option with it, but she's 16 for goodness sake, and that kind of game awareness and intelligence is on a very, very steep curve at the moment. She's clearly learned a few things every time she's been on camera this year. Hunt was wrapped up and still got it away to Priest and then Focus. Out wide to Plooples. Hunt. Watt inside. Hunt sees a better option further forward because Hannah Davies was in a lot of space. Featherstone is wrapped around on the outside. Davies spots her, delivers it on a platter. It has been called 50. That's frustrating from Jess Matthews. I get it, but I think in the cold light of day, even she'll say, yeah, I probably shouldn't have. Scarlett Featherstone. She now has 5 in 4 games, including 2 in this quarter. But that began with a turnover from Megan Hunt. Gathered the ball in space. Three minutes remaining. Gathered the ball in space. And then they just... The Southport players lined up in support down the right. Pluples was involved. Fogus was involved. Hunt got back involved. Found Hannah Davies on the 50. And then Featherstone ran into position very quickly. She knew what was required. And it is notable that Southport has kicked away in the late stages of each of the 4 quarters. So this Yeronga side is clearly a fit side, but Southport's just that next level above. And that'd be an aspirational goal perhaps for some of the Yeronga players to say, right, they got us late in 4th quarters, so if we improve this part of our game, that's how we'll stay in contest for a bit longer. Everyone's learning. Kicking in danger. And the free kick will come back to Charlotte Millen. She's done a lot of good things today, been very industrious. She will go inside 50. Wasn't taken by Goodwin. Wynn snaps around. She's been excellent today. And on the lead was Amelia Lee, who looks to be a very good key position player. In the making, obviously, but also just what she is right now. For her to be getting experience in this competition is a valuable thing. Didn't need many steps to get that onto the boot. They've got a second goal. And it's hard to argue that Yeronga didn't deserve that. And given that I was just saying that they were falling out of the play in the final stages of each quarter, I think I should take credit for that goal. But Amelia Lee, it's her second goal this season. And what's been a difficult year for Yeronga, but the last time Yeronga played Southport at the end of last year, they scored a point. This year they've put 2 goals on them. They've conceded 98, true. Final 30 seconds. Is there time for Southport to hit the century, or for Yeronga to beat Cooperoo's score from last week? Which, given that the rivalry never really goes away between Yeronga and Cooperoo, why not? Free kick goes to Southport. Megan Hunt takes it. The clock will beat everyone. Maybe it won't, as it's gone up 50. As the ball was kicked away. Apologies, I misread the signal, not a 50-metre free kick. It's Southport's day. They get their 4th win in a row. They get their 300th goal in the Bond University QAFLW, and they get an 83-point victory over Yeronga. The goal scorers for Southport today, 4 to Maddie Baldwin, 3 to Dakota Barron, 2 each to Steph O'Brien, Taylor Gregory, and 1 each to Shayla Lloyd and Nakisha Drew Perkis. Goals for Yeronga to Sophie Wheeler and Amelia Lee. It's normally a bit of a joke when I try to pick a best on ground, and certainly a 3-2-1 in these, but in terms of her work in the middle of the field, certainly Megan Fogus is in the conversation. And of course I don't get to see the stats till after the game, so I'm going to go Fogus, but in a hot field, Steph O'Brien was brilliant in parts. Obviously Barron and Baldwin up front. It's hard to pick a bad player, really. Megan Hunt was superb around the ground. For Yeronga, again, some wonderful players in the field. Faraday Hopkins showed her strength on many occasions. Pepper Pulteney is just a marvel in the ruck to watch. Chelsea Wynn couldn't play her usual game, and so found influence in other ways. And I did like the play of Lizzie Hill, who really was a strong physical presence at different times. Next week, for the first time this year, we get to see the last team, the only team we haven't seen this year, and that's the Cooperoo Kings. We will be at Giffen Park at 4:45 as they take on their bogey team, really, the Wilston Grange Gorillas. But thank you very much for your company today. My name's been Daniel Viles. Join us next week. Or also at 4:45 today, our other live stream game is Wilston Grange versus Maroochydore. There's always footy for you to watch live and during the week on the official AFLQ channel. But from Lation Park, it's bye for now.